the human experience in what we call the 3D reality is a circular one. Once awareness is present and there's an observation that has been taking place, reality becomes a 3D one and therefore also a circular one. It's not anymore just a linear line. There is the me, the I am, and there's the perception of me. And there's another point of reference, which is a physical point in this experience. Let's say I'm experiencing a taste, I'm experiencing another person, I'm experiencing nature, I'm engaging in some kind of a physical activity. Therefore, there's another point outside of me, there is the me. So there's the two connection, and then there is the aspect of me, or the outside of me, that observes what is happening, either at the same moment or in a future point, which is looking back in memory, which is also interesting how in a future point I will be able to look back and observe. Of course, when awareness is kicking in, observance is happening at the same time of experience. Therefore, the observance of the observer can see much more. When I'm looking at myself from a future point of me, after the experience, looking back at the experience, analyzing it, most likely I would be able to see the linear line. And there's a point of where awareness jumps, make a leap, and gradually is able to be more and more present in the now moment and function as the observer in the now moment. So there's like a triangle happening in every moment of experience. Now that triangle is actually, well, the experience itself is circular one. I'm getting into the experience in a certain point in time, and I'm experiencing it in a circular way, going back to myself or to the back point of experience from the other side. Now, experience is, of course, much longer. Experience can be a short experience, an experience can be a longer thing that I'm experiencing. An experience can be also prolonging in circles, in cycles. For if I'm thinking or if I'm analyzing experience, or if I'm reducing experience, then experience is always repeating itself. Let's say that I'm eating a banana. So there's an experience of eating a banana, that certain banana, at the moment of eating. But then the experience itself can be reduced only to the fact that I'm eating, or only to the fact that I'm engaging with a banana, or only to the fact that I'm engaging with food. And this will repeat each time when I will engage myself, either in eating or in feeding or even in eating a banana. There is a certain part of me that is repeating experience. And experience itself is in a circular way, and we will go from one point all the way to the point across, the opposite point in the circle, and then I will go back experiencing everything that has to be experienced in that certain topic or theme. And that the me that is moving through that experience is in a constant change. The me that is experiencing food right now would not be the same me that is experiencing food tomorrow or the next day or even 1 week from now. My accumulated observation is always present with me. My awareness is always present with me. The richer is the awareness, the more expanded it can be, the consciousness, the more expanded my consciousness can be, the more I will experience, the more parts of the experience I will experience at the now moment. And just the experience of eating a banana is way richer than what we've experienced so far. When the awareness is present, the more the awareness is present, the richer is the experience. And it goes in layers. It's not only the experience of taste, it's the experience of me tasting. It's my presence at the moment tasting. It's the observation of me eating. It's the energy flow in my body, in my physical body, while eating a banana. It's the digestion part. It's from how the food is running down from my mouth, being chewed to my throat, down to my stomach. All of this can be experienced at the moment of just eating a banana. And even more than that, the energy is flowing. My reaction to a taste, my reaction to swallowing, my reaction to chewing, my reaction to digesting, all of this can be experienced. The more the awareness is there, more consciousness is present, the more time and patience is taken to be in all of this, what I just said, in chewing, swallowing, tasting, digesting, being with it, being with the energy, being with the taste, being with the action, feeling how it affects my body and how my body affects it. There's a constant happening just there, just by a simple thing as eating a banana or just a simple thing as breathing. The experience is so rich. The more we can slow down and be present with it, not thinking. We have this tendency of thinking during the feeding process. The body is occupied and the mind is wandering off. When the mind can be silent and awareness can be present during the actual process of eating, the act of eating, if I can be in that act and everything that is belonging to that and it's around that, the more I can be with that, the richer is my experience with that. And the experience, going back to how started this video, the experience is circular. It's coming out of me, continuing all the way to the complete opposite point of that particular experience. And that point is the furthest from where I started. And that point is, the furthest that it is, the more I need to be present with it, because the less I am connected with that point, actually. And then coming back from the other side, back into me. And an experience can be the same experience or if we go back to the essence of the experience, right? So eating, doing something, anything that I'm choosing to do. Even just if I'm in a thought process, this is also working as a circular experience. goes back into me, feeding me, going out of me and coming back to me with information, with distilled knowledge. And this is what my experiences are based on, or this is what is distilled by the experience. It's a constant energy exchange and energy flow. Just like when I'm eating, there's a circular process that is feeding my body. I'm using energy to bring food to my table and then to my mouth and back, building back my cells, giving me back energy. So there's a circle of energy, cycle of energy over there. The same thing goes with any experience that I'm having. There's an energy exchange. There's me engaging myself in something with myself and with an object or a person. And then there's the energy coming back to me, being back fed to me, by me, through knowledge or through knowingness. That's the basic of experience. So many people, and we used to do the same, are building their experiences according to what can they know more. How can they enrich information? So they go and study. They read books. They listen to videos. And in that experience, they enrich their intellect or their knowingness. That goes the same with any other experience that I'm having. Best examples are children. They are engaging in a non-stop of activities, and they are feeding themselves through that experience with joy and knowingness. There's a passion from the kids calling forth an experience. Through their experience, they are feeding themselves with joy, fun, and happiness, and a learning process, an understanding of how this reality works. When I'm playing with a ball, how the ball is working, how the ball is bouncing, how they interact, what is the interaction between the kid, between me as a kid and the ball. What the surface of a ball feel like? What is it made of? How does it bounce on different materials? What can I do with it? Countless of things that I can do and play just with a ball. And all of this is feeding my experience. The more present I am with that experience, the richer I'm getting in the end of that experience. And that's a circular one. Because most likely, I will go back to play with a ball. I will go back to that cycle of me engaging in an experience with an object called ball. And the more present I can be again in that experience, the richer it would be, the more information I will have, the more fun I will have, the more energy I will accumulate and knowledge about that particular experience. Until one point, I'll be so full of that I won't like to play with balls anymore, because I know all the outcomes. I've experienced everything. I went from my one point all the way back into the end, an end with an E, the end of that experience. However, that end is not the end. There is a leap in consciousness that is happening again and again and again. And in that leap, we are moving from one cycle to a deeper cycle, an inner cycle. So now imagine yourself that the experience is circular. Now it's opening up, and the circle is going either up, actually both ways, up and down. There's a circle that is just always continuing. Rings. One is smaller than the other, going back to the other side. One is bigger than the other. And the leap of consciousness would allow me to go from one circular experience to the next one, where knowledge is, for example, is distilled quicker. The experience is richer and fuller. And this cannot be explained, only experienced. Whatever words I would say right now and I would use right now to describe what does that mean will be pointless. Only the individual experience of that happening, only that can explain the mind. What does it mean? I have experienced on myself how constantly I'm leaping from one point of awareness, I'm shifting it to another one. And therefore my experiences are becoming richer in juice, in energy, in information, in knowingness. And the experience itself becomes quickly digested. I'm getting more into each and every experience. For I've reached a point, for example, that I knew how banana tastes. And it doesn't matter how many times I would have engaged myself in the same experience of eating a banana, it would have been the same or very close to the same, very similar experience. That goes the same for a ball. Basketball, for example. I've reached a point where I knew all points of the game. And I gave up the game. I stopped. It wasn't interesting anymore. Much like eating a banana. But then there's a leap of consciousness, an individual leap of consciousness, which allowed me a newer passion, a passion to go back into experience and to just allow any experience to come by and to experience it anew. And suddenly eating a banana was a different experience, was a new experience. The taste is much richer. The structure of a banana is felt differently by me. The connection between me and that particular food is different. The energy exchange is different, is richer. The same goes for the experience with a ball. I'm finding new ways to play with the ball, to be active with the ball, to interact with the ball. So my experience was circular. I finished it, I reached the end of it, where I knew all of it. And then the leap in consciousness, in my individual consciousness, allowed me to go back to the so-called same experiences, but on a different cycle, a different loop. That's when experience changes the reality, and the reality goes from singular to linear to a triangle one to a circular one, and even that circle is opening up to look more like a whirlwind, a tornado. And their energy is going up and down. I will explain more about it in more videos to come.